Hello, it's Mike, aka TB Mike, and hope you are all having a good day. Now, today, we will be breaking down Azula and her rise and downfall. If you enjoy this video, please consider subscribing, it's free. Also, follow my social medias and join my Discord to help me make videos and suggest clips and be a part of my live streams that will be coming up soon. And let's get into it. Azula is the younger sister of Zuko, and we actually do not see her in the series until season 1, episode 12. During a flashback where Zuko's Agni Kai was going on with his father. We all know what happens there. She is also the featured firebender in the intro of Avatar: The Last Airbender. Fun fact.
Fire.
However, her first real appearance isn't until the end of season 1.
Zuko is a failure. I have a task for you.
Now, season 2 is when we really start to see Azula and her character. As we know, she is very mean, manipulative. She also starts out in season 2 on her voyage to find Uncle Iroh and Zuko. Now, this first voyage is short-lived as they find out that they're going to be prisoners.
You heard the princess! Raise the anchors! We're taking the prisoners home!
Now, Zuko and Iroh do end up escaping Azula, and she has to restart. Not before Zuko almost faces his death, but Uncle Iroh comes out and saves him. After her plan doesn't work out, she decides it will be for the best to assemble a smaller team to keep the element of surprise.
If I want to catch my prey, I must be agile, nimble. I need a small, elite team. It's time to visit some old friends.
Azula goes on to assemble her dream team
Assemble a sales team. A dream team.
Great.
and recruiting May and Ty Lee to help her capture Uncle Iroh and Prince Zuko, and they go on their merry way.
Please tell me you're here to kill me.
It's great to see you, May.
Also, during this episode, when they all meet up, Azula does end up meeting the Avatar for the first time. Well, not really meeting, but you know what I mean. A few episodes later, we get to the episode called Zuko Alone, which shows a lot of childhood flashbacks from Azula and Zuko. During these flashbacks, we get to see what Azula was really like as a child. Now, at a very young age, Azula was by far the better firebender than Zuko, and due to this, she was around her father a lot more often, Fire Lord Ozai, which is her father. Knowing what Ozai is like, obviously the main villain in the show, Azula picks up on a lot of his bad tendencies and really has no remorse for anyone besides herself and her father. Even her mother, she is very, very mean to as well, which really sucks.
If Uncle doesn't make it back from war, then Dad would be next in line to be Fire Lord, wouldn't he?
Azula, we don't speak that way.
Uncle's not a quitter.
Oh, yes, he is. He found out his son died, and he just fell apart. A real general would stay and burn Ba Sing Se to the ground, not lose the battle and come home crying.
How do you know what he should do? He's probably just sad his only kid is gone.
So even at a very young age, Azula resembled more of her father than her mother just because she was around her father a lot more often, picked up on a lot of his bad habits, and you can obviously see it in the few clips that were mentioned. So moving along, not too much happens. The only major thing that really happens is the drill thing, and that takes place in the middle of the season. And it's not until the end of the season until we get to the really good stuff. Okay, so another thing I forgot to mention is that Azula is a very good leader. And she does this mainly through manipulation and getting what she wants out of people. She is also very good at strategy and planning ahead, as you will also see throughout the show. So this leads us to our next part of the video, which I like to give it a nice title in Azula's Trojan Horse. And this is the part where she plans to take over Ba Sing Se. First thing she does is disguise as the Kyoshi warriors after defeating them.
We are the Earth King's humble servants.
Azula and her dream team are able to stay kind of under the radar while serving the Earth King. And doing this allows them to gain a lot of valuable information about upcoming strategies that the Earth Kingdom has. Also, another big thing to note here is that Ba Sing Se has pretty much stood and held against the Fire Nation for for 100 years. So taking down Ba Sing Se is a big deal.
My most trusted advisor, Long Feng, and his Dai Li agents tried to take control of Ba Sing Se from me. There is good news. As we speak, the Council of Five is meeting to plan an invasion of the Fire Nation this summer, on the day of a solar eclipse.
Really? Now that sounds like a fascinating and brilliant plan.
Azula gets to talk to the leader of the Dai Li, Long Feng, and they pretty much arrange a short-term deal that Azula will betray later on. Doing this, Azula gets to gain more and more power within Ba Sing Se, and since the Dai Li agents do not follow the Earth Kingdom military troops, they are pretty much a private entity and will follow whoever's in control. Azula's plan then goes into action, and most of the generals are taken into prison. The Earth King is taken into prison. Sokka and Toph are taken into a prison. And then the fun part happens where she actually overthrows Long Feng for the actual Dai Li.
You've beaten me at my own game.
Don't flatter yourself. You were never even a player.
Everything going to plan, Azula starts on our last part of the plan, which is to somehow, someway convince Zuko to join her in beating the Avatar and defeating Ba Sing Se. And somehow, someway, she's able to get this done, and they end up taking over Ba Sing Se. She almost kills the Avatar, and this is probably one of the highest points for her in the show. And we will discuss soon how she starts to fall off after this. So all that happens at the end of Season 2. Now Season 3 is where things start to take a pretty big change for Azula. Now obviously they are welcome back home as heroes, both her and Zuko, for helping defeat Ba Sing Se and taking control of Ba Sing Se. There's not really too much that's going on. Obviously she knows about the Day of Black Sun, which is coming up. That's still a while away, and she doesn't really have anything to do in the meantime of that. Season 3, Episode 5, titled The Beach, is where things start to get interesting. Now, this is an episode where Mai, Ty Lee, Zuko, and Azula all head to the beach for a nice little relaxing vacation, I guess you could say. However, things start to get interesting when they have a little fire pit going and a lot of confessions come out. Obviously, Mai, Zuko, and Ty Lee all have like pretty real confessions, and Azula really doesn't say much. However, Azula does mention her mother and how she kind of wishes she was a better daughter, pretty much, but she kind of tries to play it off.
I guess you wouldn't understand, would you, Azula? Because you're just so perfect.
Well, yes, I guess you're right. I don't have sob stories like all of you. I could sit here and complain how our mom liked Zuko more than me, but I don't really care. My own mother thought I was a monster. She was right, of course, but it still hurt.
During this clip, you can almost see Azula cry, but she's able to hold it back. So this actually kind of shows that she does really care about like how horrible she was to her mother. And she even admitted it herself. Moving along, the Day of Black Sun happens, and the attack is unsuccessful because Azula had inside information from the Earth Kingdom, and she was able to make preparations so the attack didn't go as planned, such as hiding her father and stalling for time. During this time, we can see how Azula is a psychopath. And the reason I say this is because psychopaths can lie and get away with it. Like, even if someone can tell that they're lying, they still sound really convincing and they do not show that they are lying, as in, etc., a polygraph test, where it shows if you are lying or not due to your body's response to certain questions. And Toph is pretty much a human polygraph machine, as she is able to tell if someone's lying or not because her earthbending abilities are just so amazing. And also she is blind, which means her other senses are able to pick up on things that other people cannot.
You're lying!
He's not lying.
How can you tell?
I can feel his breathing and heartbeat. When people lie, there's a physical reaction. He's telling the truth. And stick to the truth. I'll be able to tell if you're lying. Are you sure? I'm a pretty good liar. I am a 400-foot-tall purple platypus bear with pink horns and silver wings. Okay, you're good, I admit it.
So during this point of the downfall of Azula, we get to a major point where in the prison escape, Mai and Ty Lee actually betray her and go with Zuko and the other people to help them escape the prison. Now this drives Azula completely insane, as these were her best friends and they betrayed her, and she's not able to comprehend why they did that, even though Azula kind of brought it on herself for what she was doing.
Why would you do it? You know the consequences.
I guess you just don't know people as well as you think you do. You miscalculated. I love Zuko more than I fear you.
No, you miscalculated! You should have feared me more!
Put them somewhere I'll never have to see their faces again.
and let them rot.
So this is pretty much the nail in the coffin for Azula's downfall. After this, everything takes a very deep decline. She gets rid of her personal servants, or at least one of them. She is angrier than ever. She also banishes and bans all of the Dai Li that were loyal to her. She also gets rid of her older advisors, the two sisters. I forgot their names, the two old ladies. She gets rid of them as well. Then she starts to hallucinate and see things that aren't actually true, such as her mother.
What a shame. You always had such beautiful hair.
What are you doing here?
I didn't want to miss my own daughter's coronation.
Don't pretend to act proud. I know what you really think of me. You think I'm a monster.
I think you're confused. All your life you've used fear to control people, like your friends May and Ty Lee.
Trust is for fools. Fear is the only reliable way. Even you fear me.
No, I love you, Azula. I do.
As you saw, Azula's mental state has completely taken a toll for the worse. She is nowhere as near as a powerful leader as she once was in the Fire Nation. She is filled with guilt and remorse and probably wishes she could have done things differently. This ultimately leads to her defeat against Zuko and Katara. Another thing to keep in mind is that pretty much every battle between Zuko and Azula pretty much came out on top in every single fight that they had throughout the show. Even though Katara was able to outsmart Azula in the end, and even Zuko was able to notice during the fight that Azula was not herself and was able to take her one-on-one until she hit, or was going to shoot the lightning at Katara, but we all know what happened there. And this completes her downfall throughout the show. As we saw, she was on the top, a powerful Fire Nation princess, getting promoted to Fire Lord, to ending up being a prisoner due to her brother and Katara capturing her once and for all. And this ultimately completes her downfall. Now, if you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. It's free. And have a great day, and I will see you next time.